Hey YouTube, it's Jess. One of the things that I was the most curious about when I was starting to get ready to go back to work was how I was going to store milk, how I was going to transport milk, how I was going to store the pumping supplies. Would I get multiples? Would I just wash the same ones over and over? How would I pack my pump bag? I just didn't really know how I was going to work all that out. And this was before I discovered the awesome YouTube universe of moms, so I kind of just had to figure things out on my own. And what I ended up doing is a little bit different from what I've seen, and so I thought I would film how I store my milk, how I freeze my milk, and how I store them in the freezer, and also how I organize my pumping supplies and what I do there. So we have to go to the kitchen, and I will show you how I organize my milk, and then we will go to the deep freezer, and then we will go back to the kitchen to see how I organize my pumping supplies. So let's go to the kitchen. All right, so we are in my kitchen, and this is where my refrigerator stash of milk is kept, in this top right corner. These are pre-made bottles that I go ahead and make up for my husband, and sometimes I make them up for my mom just to make things easier on them. This is the tray where the extra milk goes that I pump, and it's a U-shape tray so you know which milk is older, and plus I've got the labeling lid so I can tell exactly when it was pumped. Today actually starts my 4-day weekend, and so whatever I have left over after this afternoon will be put into bags and frozen. And my freezer stash in the house is down here. These are just cheap ice, excuse the lens cap. These are just cheap ice bins that I got at Target for really cheap. The Lancino bags fit in there really well. I store my freezer milk in groups of 4 ounces and 2 ounces. I use the 2 ounces more for cereal, mixing with his cereal, and then the 4 ounces I obviously use for bottles. But this is where the freezer stash in the house is kept. I have a deep freezer in the garage, and I will go show you that now. All right, so you're in my garage, and it's dark, so I've got a flashlight. Oh, this is our deep freezer, and I've got my milk in this section right here, and I don't know if you can see, they're like in baggies, in big Ziploc bags, and I'll lift one up for you, but I just line them up like that in Ziploc bags, and then I have the top labeled. You can see it right. No, you can't. It's too dark. Like that. So that is January 19th through February 16th. And I try to put the oldest on top, just to make sure that the oldest is used first, but that is where I keep my milk in the deep freezer. All right, so now we're on the other side of my kitchen to talk about how I organize my breast pumping supplies. This is the dirty stuff on this side, and this is where I keep the clean stuff on these drying racks over here. The dirty stuff, how I can tell if my pump supplies are dirty is this bag will not have a knot in it. I tie a knot when the stuff is clean and ready to go, like in this bag up here. It has a knot on it, and so I know that that bag is clean and ready to go. I have 3 sets. I have this dirty set right here, a set on the drying rack, and then a set up here. And what happens is when I come home from work, first thing I do is I take the supplies out of the bag, they go here, and then I grab this set right here, which is next in line. I bring it over here, put it in the bag, and then come back, wash this, put the clean supplies over here in this bag, and then hang it up there. Does that make any sense at all? But I keep those 3, so I have 3 sets, 2 bags for the Medela stuff, and then I also have another bag for my Avent stuff. There's my Avent manual pump stuff, and because I'm crazy, I have to do like Medela drying rack and bottle drying rack, Avent drying rack. I keep things completely separate, and that seems to help me. I hand wash everything, including the breast pump bottles, with this Palmolive Baby. It seems to not leave any residue. I can't even smell the soap when I'm done washing them, but I wash them by hand because our dishwasher was turning the bottles upside down like that, and everything was collecting in the bottle, and it was absolutely disgusting. And so I was having to hand wash them anyway, so I just decided I'd hand wash them. So that is how I organize my supplies at the sink. Okay, now that you have seen how I store my milk in the fridge and the freezer and how I organize my pumping supplies, I thought I'd also talk about how I transport my milk back and forth from childcare. I use this little ice pack, cool pack thing from CoolWrap is actually what it's called, by Munchkin. I was using a cheapy cooler that I think I actually got in a diaper bag for my first son, when like the little bags that they give you in the hospital. I think it came from that, but the ice packs were really weird and I wouldn't be able to lay them completely flat and they'd freeze really funny and then I'd have to cram them in and I completely ripped it to shreds. And so I needed something better. And so I got this and I have been extremely happy with it. I want to say it was like $16, which is a little pricey, but it's been totally worth it. It fits a lot of stuff. I now have it fully packed from my mom because I just got off work. I have a packet of food up here. And then it fits 3 bottles comfortably. This is 4 ounces, 4 ounces, and 5 ounces in here. I pack a ton of milk just because I just want to make sure she has enough. But there's 2 cooler packs that you put in the freezer. I'll pull one out a little bit for you. That fit in there like that. And I like this design because they're flexible even when they're fully frozen. I thought that was really cool. But there's one on either side. There's one over here too. And then there's also a pocket in the front that I've used like once. You can put like spoons in there or a teether. And then there's also a pocket in the back and like a little loop that you can attach. And it has a long strap, which I like as well. I can put it on my shoulder and you can make it as long, it's adjustable, you can make it as long or short as you like. And so that is how I get my milk out of the house and keep it still refrigerated. And it stays cold for a really long time. I was really impressed. I actually came home one day and left it in the car and came in and cooked dinner and did bedtime, and like it came down to like 10 o'clock at night and I was like, oh crap, my milk. And so I went and I ran in and grabbed it and I was worried. I was so worried it was ruined, and which nobody likes to pour milk down the drain. It just it hurts to have to do that. And so I was so worried and I pulled it out and it felt like it had been in the refrigerator the entire time. I was so relieved. And so I was very happy. That's what completely sold me on this. So I highly recommend the Munchkin CoolWrap if you want to transport your milk somewhere. Well, that's it. That's how I store everything and keep everything and wash everything and do all that. So I really hope this helps somebody, and thanks for watching.